Hey guys, what's going on? This is Ash Kumra with Youngry. We're here at South by Southwest 2017 in an amazing lounge brought to you by Leverage PR. I'm here with Scott Picken. He is the founder CEO of Wealth Migrate. How are you doing today?
Yeah, awesome. Lovely to meet you.
Tell us about your company.
Look, in simple terms, up until now, the wealthiest of the wealthy have invested in real estate. Literally back to the kings of England. He who owned the land was the king, And as it found, when you look at the world, 12.9% of the world's population actually has access to real estate and creating that wealth. 49% of the world's wealth is held in real estate. And so really what our company does is it just opened up global opportunities to the best real estate globally. And literally through the likes of your mobile phone, you're investing in what was previously only available to millionaires and billionaires with as little as $1,000. And the part I like most is that you can invest in England, Australia, America, and you can manage everything on your cell phone.
So I'm hearing a couple things. First off, great idea. I mean, it's obvious why this will take off.
It's basically like Monopoly has become a worldwide game, but in real life.
That's a good element. That's a good tagline. You should use that. That's cool. You're taking crowdfunding, specifically real estate crowdfunding, to a whole new level. Would you agree?
Yeah, look, crowdfunding is an interesting angle because a lot of people kind of think of it as gizmos and a watch or cool box. And so, I tend to like the word rather fintech.
Okay.
Because, quite frankly, it's technology coming to the space of real estate investing in wealth.
But you're allowing the masses to be able to invest.
100%.
So it's using the crowd to take advantage of fintech technology in a sense.
Yeah, 100%. So really the best way to describe it is that up until now, only the top 1% had access to the best opportunities in the world. We're giving access to the 99% with exactly the same relative returns, the same opportunities, but from a much lower barrier to entry.
So why did you decide to do this? Like, what inspired you to decide to go into this all in?
I'll give you the short version. I did my first programming course when I was 6. I did my first property project or real estate project when I was 13. I'm a very boring one-track pony and literally have been trying to figure out how we can use technology to change the property real estate industry because it's basically one of the most archaic, old and inefficient industries on the planet. Secondly, from my perspective, my father went the whole route of get a degree. He was a CA, financial director of a listed company and died unfortunately a poor man. Broke man, actually, quite frankly. And yet I watched how wealth was created in real estate. 49% of the world's wealth is held in real estate. I've had the privilege of learning from some of the wealthiest people in the world. And yet the barriers to entry to get in were so difficult. And quite frankly, making money is not that difficult. It's common sense. But most people have common sense, but they don't have the ability to participate. So really, from my perspective, there was a real need and a drive at a personal level to give people access to wealth, give them both the access to the education, but not just run into the back of the room and get a course or get a coach, but actually be able to physically participate. And I believe that if you change people's habits, you can change their financial destiny. So at a very purposeful level, quite frankly, I'm from Africa and the wealth gap is widening. And we have a major problem on the planet, and my purpose, I believe, is to solve that.
Okay, well, that's it's like, I love it because you're a capitalist with a purpose.
Yeah, no, very much so. Look, in the old days, you had to be Mother Teresa and go and give away all your worldly wares and change the world, but live in complete abject poverty yourself. Nowadays, I think it's wonderful. You can change the world. You can have a dramatic purpose that you want to impact, but you can create a very valuable company in the process. And I've really built my companies. I've had a couple of companies that I've built right up since I was a young man on Zig Ziglar's principle. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. And so I got goosebumps telling you that because for me, the principle is create wealth for others, and the rest will take care of itself.
I love that. And I got two last questions. One is, what's next for your company?
Sure. Well, really we currently are focused on South Africa and China, really much on the emerging world, in the emerging world. We're in 5 continents already.
Wow.
8 different jurisdictions, 8 different countries, and we're growing rapidly. So in terms of what's next is a marketplace rollout. We'll be looking at a number of jurisdictions. I won't go into all the details, but really just providing more access to more people. I was in Dubai 2 weeks ago. they've got the exact same needs. A lot of people don't understand this, but in Iraq, they've got exactly the same needs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want access to world-class opportunities with a small amount of money. And so really my job is two things. One is to continue to educate people that the world is changing. There's a new way of doing it. And secondly, to be able to continue to actively, provide them in a regulated environment, a compliant way to be able to do it safely.
Okay. Well, that's really good. Well, before I ask my last question, I just want to wish you continued success, because it sounds like you're doing some great work.
No, thank you, man. It's a 20-year overnight success. As in, I've worked at this, pretty much my whole life and my whole career, fueled by passion, and quite frankly, I've got an incredible global team.
That's good.
And this has little to do with me. And for your listeners out there, I really go on a saying: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Go out there and get world-class people on your team, because ultimately that's how we've had our success, is the world-class team we've got. It's got nothing to do with being an individual.
Okay. Last question. You're here at South by. Naturally, you've probably seen all the craziness and the events. What excites you about South by this year?
Quite frankly, I probably am allowed to speak with a bit of authority here. I've had and been to some of the best events in the world. I've been personally, with Tony Robbins in Fiji, Chet Holmes, you name them, Roger Hamilton in Bali. I've done a lot of the business courses. I've been on Necker Island twice with Richard Branson. I really have had the privilege of hanging with some of the best people on the planet. And really for me, I was at South by Southwest for the first time last year, and it was one of the best learning experiences I've ever had. And the reason being is that normally when you go to an environment, you literally are stuck in a room, and whatever they feed you is the information you get. Here, it takes you about 2 days just to look through the schedule to figure out which events you want to go and look at. So I learned so much in the specific niche I was wanting to learn about last year. And equally, I met incredibly good people. So I always believe you want to put yourself in the room where you're the dumbest, poorest guy in the room. Because quite frankly, you can only grow, and that's what inspires me. So you've got not only access to world-class knowledge, not from lecturers or university people, but people actually physically doing it, and secondly, you've got incredible people, and I've already built great friendships from a year ago, so much so that 2 of the guys look like they're going to be actually running entire regional parts of the world for us and our company. So
You seem like a guy who's good at recruiting.
I don't know about recruiting. It's not that hard to recruit people when you've got a purpose that's out there to really solve the greatest challenge on the planet. And there are a lot of people now that want to get out of bed, and it's not only about making money. They want to do something that is going to be part of their destiny. And quite frankly, we've got that opportunity.
Well, I wish you the best.
Awesome. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time. And to all of you out there, go live your passion.